Hello everyone, my name is Gary Yao, and today I would like to explain to you the Brrrr method. The Brrrr method is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. This method in real estate investment is a strategy that involves buying distressed property, renting it out, and then cash or refinance in order to fund the next rental property. It's like recycling money. You use it over and over again in an infinite loop, at least in theory. One of the main differences in Brrrr method and the conventional investment strategy is the focus in investing in properties in distressed situation or condition, and on refinancing the purchased property in order to buy the next one. If done correctly, the Brrrr method can provide passive income in a revolving method for purchasing and owning real estate property. The method works through the following steps. This first one is buy. The property you purchase should be the distressed property that needs some work in order to get up to code and ready to rent, because the home's condition is likely to be cheaper to purchase. Next, you have the rehab. You rehabilitate it. Since the property is stressed, it may require extensive work. In this step, you renovate the property to make improvements and to prepare for the renters. Once you have it ready, you rent it out. You rent out a property. You determine the rental price and you find the tenants to rent. Next, you refinance or refi. When you refinance, you take the equity of the property and you prepare that in order to have access to the equity, cash it out to have it in cash, thus freeing it for your expansion to get more deals. Last one is that you repeat. You repeat this process. In the final step, you'll start the process all over again. Using the funds in your cash out, in the refinance, you'll purchase another distressed property and repeat the process, thus building your real estate portfolio. When practicing the Brrrr method, it is important to take the following steps into consideration. Let me elaborate. When you start with the buying, when you do the buy of the Brrrr method, it relies on you to purchase distressed properties that needs to upgrades and need repairs. So it might be hard to get traditional mortgage on your home, or actually in that property. There are a few reasons for this. Most lenders require an appraisal on the property, but the value is difficult to assess because this type of the property. Depending on the type of loan you get, the property might also need to pass specific guidelines to qualify. Before you go looking for distressed properties, talk to a lender to see your options. There are two ways to get financing that could be helpful if you want to get cash right away. One is HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, and second is hard money loan, which tends to be a little more expensive, but they will lend it to you for a short-term period and long enough for you to cash out that money and refinance for a better term. When buying distressed properties, it's important to calculate the after repair value, which we call it ARV, after repair value. The ARV is the estimated value of the home after it's renovated. To determine the ARV, you compare the final result of the home to similar homes currently in the market for sale or recently sold. When deciding how much you want to offer in a home, try the 70% rule in real estate. For example, if the home is worth, let's say, $1 million, then you offer no more than $700,000. I know $1 million seems to be a lot of money, but here in California, especially Southern California, home prices at $1 million are actually very easy to come by. So next step is when you do a rehab. When you rehab your home, the first improvement you need to make sure is that you bring the home up to code and ensure that it's safe to live in. Next, you'll want to identify the type of improvements that will increase the value. These may include upgrading the kitchen and the bathroom, anything that has to do with water. Next, you want to improve the curb appeal and installing energy efficient windows, appliances, and other features. Before you start looking for a project, make sure that you create a realistic budget and a timeline for it. After you have a rehab, of course, you might want to rent it out. It's important to find renters before you refinance, which is the next step. Because lenders generally will not refinance until the property has tenants. When it comes to choosing tenants, you want to look for certain qualities. For example, a good record of on-time payments, a stable job with steady income, a good credit report, no criminal behavior or history of eviction, and positive references. You can find this information by meeting with the potential tenants, having them fill out an application, reviewing their credit report, asking for references, and performing background checks. Of course, you want to make sure that you have their consent and follow all the housing laws. When determining the rent, it's important to have both the fair pricing for a lender and to be able to produce a positive cash flow for you. Do a quick search on how much similar homes are rent in the area. Again, do the comparative, but in this case, for rent. After you have the renters in place, you do the refinance, refi. In the Brrrr method, you do a casual refinance on your investment property so you can use that money to purchase another distressed property, to flip or to rent out. In order to do this, you'll need to find a lender that offers casual refinance, and you'll need to meet the qualifications for the loan. While the lenders who have its own set of requirements, you will need to meet the minimum credit score requirements as well. A maximum debt to income ratio, usually about 50% or less, and you have the equity in the loan. You might also need to own a property for a certain amount of time before you can cash or refinance. That you have to check with the lender. Each one has their own guidelines to how long you can wait in order to have that refinance. Keep in mind that also need an appraisal, and there are additional fees including closing costs that you need to pay to get the loan. Last is repeat. In the final step of the Brrrr, you want to go back and repeat the previous steps in the same order as before. If you want to continue to repeat these steps, it's a good idea to take notes each time you go through the process so you can learn from past mistakes. The bottom line, the Brrrr method can produce passive income, building your real estate portfolio over time. However, it takes patience to rehab the home, find tenants, and refinance. Talk to a real estate professional so they can guide you through the process, and ask him if he owns any real estate investment. My name is Gary Yao, and I will talk to you soon. Oh shit!